everybody. I'm so happy to see you all here. I can see quite a few people joining us, and I will let everybody else in as well as we are going forward. Please, everybody, if you can switch on your cameras, we would love to see you. We would like to we can interact better with you during the session. But if you are in a situation that you would prefer to keep your cameras off as well, please feel free to do whichever way that you feel suitable. My name is Nazanin, and you can call me Naz. It's easier. I am an MCCA certified coach. I'm one of the faculty members of International Coach Education. You are our guest today, and we have some panelists, lovely friends of ours, that I will ask them to introduce themselves shortly. Welcome, Maria, Ingrid, Inez. I'm very happy to have you all here, and very soon I would ask them to introduce themselves and welcome you all as well from their side. So I am recording the session just to let everybody know. You are with International Coaching Education tonight. We are in the coach training business since 2013. We have faculty members that they are PCC and MCC certified. And I know that a lot of you that you are here today are thinking about becoming a coach and would have some questions in your mind that you would like it answered, that you want to know some experience. So this is the reason that we are all here. By the way, happy in International Coaching Week before we say anything else. And so this session is going to be a very friendly session. We are all going to have we are going to hear from the panelists, their journey that they had. They're all professionals that they have decided at some stage in their journey that they want to have coaching also as one of the tools that they have in their pocket. So maybe some of you are thinking the same thing and you want to know if coaching is for you, whether you should start coaching. Maybe you've read somewhere, but you just want to hear some real experiences. So this is what's going to happen today. We are going to aim for 60 minutes tonight, but we might run over like 15 minutes extra, depending on the number of questions that we might have from you. So 60 minutes is our target. Let's see how it goes. Please, I would like to invite Ingrid. Ingrid, do you want to say hello to everybody before we go ahead?
Of course, thank you. Can you hear me well? All good? Perfect.
Beautiful.
Okay. Hey, hi everyone. I'm Ingrid. And I could spend the whole 60 minutes to talk about my story, but I will make it rather short. So I was more than 30 years in a Fortune 500 corporate company in many different roles, made 11 career steps in this time. And in November 2023, decision was made that I'm gonna leave. And then I was sitting there and said, okay, what do I do now? And as I already had actually nicely paid by this company, done an ACC a couple of years before, and used these coaching skills a lot with my team members as well as colleagues, sometimes even a superior. I thought, well, why don't I hook on that? And then decided to build my own business, which is called Penrose. And I'm trying different niches to really be successful, and we might talk about that later. But then obviously decided to add to my education, which brought me together with ICE. So I did my PCC education with the ICE faculty more or less the whole year last year, and got my test and credentials then in February this year. Happy to be here, and any questions you might have, just speak them out.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Ingrid. Thank you very much. Maria?
Yes, my name is Maria Svensson, and I am situated in Sweden, the northern part of Sweden, so in the land of Aurora Borealis. And I have been an entrepreneur for the last 25 years, starting and running companies and other organizations. And currently, I run a group of companies with co-working as the main part, and also an analysis company where we do research around the future work, for instance. I also co-founded an organization called Hi Stranger, which is a NGO, nonprofit in Sweden. We are situated in 74 places in Sweden, and we have about 60,000 people who attend activities that are in the outbound of society that are longing for inclusion. So the major part of my career I spent on building businesses and organizations to actually stimulate community building and making people feel like part of a society or part of a group. I work a lot with building and developing society and societal challenges, which are mainly in between governmental organizations and nonprofits. So in the gray area there in between, where no one operates, you can find me challenging the norm. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you very much. I will hear from Inez as well, and I will get back to you all, and just we'll go a bit in more details about your stories. Inez.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Inez Brown. I'm based in the UK in Birmingham, beautiful city of Birmingham, and I am a qualified lawyer with 24 years experience. I was in private practice for 22 of those years, and in 2023 I decided to set up my own consultancy where I specialize in legal, also governance and business, and I'll explain about why coaching was important for me at that stage. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Inez. But before I hear more from you ladies, can I ask everybody, whoever here, who like our guests basically, to write in the chat, where are you connecting from? So we heard our panelists, and I'm connecting from London as well. So it's good to know what, like, from where we are all, which other continents, which other countries. Can you write in the chat? UK, US, oh, lots of UK. UK is winning. Brazil, lovely. UAE, Florida, Switzerland, fantastic. And as you're writing, I would like to ask another question. Is there anybody here who is already a coach? Because this session is mainly, this webinar is mainly for people who are not yet in their coaching journey. So you would hear from our panelists and myself about how coaching can help you, and the journey of coming into coaching. And this is all about people who are deciding about coming and becoming a coach. If you're already a coach, you can still stay. You can still stay. And the reason I say you can still stay, because it's very good to hear, because you might be in the beginning. I can see a couple of names that I know myself. So you might be in the beginning of your coaching journey, and you would like to hear from our panelists what were their journey and how it impacted them. So it's very good for you to see what do you have ahead of you. So you might want to stay and hear from that angle. But if you are none of them is working for you, maybe you can come to another webinars of ours. And actually what I'm going to do is that in the chat, I'm going to put a link for, because some of you are coming maybe from the ICF platform, and you haven't seen our other webinars that might be actually very useful. So I will put that also in the chat as well, and then you can decide if this session is something that you would like to stay with us, or is there other webinars that might be more useful for you. So thank you very much. Can you, if there is anybody who is already a coach, can you raise your hand, that I see how many of you are actually already a coach and how many are thinking about this path? If anybody is a coach already, can you please raise your hand? That I just know how many in the chat. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Thank you for writing. And I will ask Ingrid, Inez, and Maria, please, at the same time, like while I'm reading the chat, if you pick up something in the chat that you would like to answer, if you hear a question, if you see a question that you feel like you would like to answer that question, please just jump in. I'm reading also, I'm scanning the questions, but mainly we will answer the questions at the end of the session, unless that question is particularly matching the part that we are talking, and then we can just answer it there and then. And sometimes I will answer in the chat as well. So we will tend to answer the questions by the end of the session, and we will have a part for that one. Thank you very much. Thank you for raising your hand. And can I ask, what's the biggest question that you would like to take away from this session with us? Because knowing that will also help us that if it was not in the plan, maybe we answered that question as well. And if this is not the place, I will let you know that how you can get the answer as well. So can you let me know what is the biggest questions that you're in this session and you would like to take away from this session with you? Maybe it's a question, maybe it's a challenge, maybe it's curiosity, I don't know. Just write it, whatever comes to your mind. We would love to read that as well. Thank you very much. So while you're reading that, writing it, and I will read them, I would like to start with our, okay. Oh, by the way, if you're already a coach and your question is about how to find the clients, and so this will probably not be the best place for you. But you will hear the success stories and the stories from our panelists that it might help you. I'm not saying that it will not, but that is not our focus. That's why I said this session is mainly for people who would like to become a coach and they are not already in that journey. But thank you for writing it. Thank you very much. So I've heard briefly from Ingrid while you were saying it when you were talking about yourself a little bit. You said what made you first consider coaching as something more than just an interest, because you said that you were introduced and that's where you started. But is there anything else? Was there a reason that it made you interested to do coaching right in the beginning that you would like to add to what you mentioned to us?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say my first coaching education leading to an ICF ACC already happened 2013, 14, and I did everything online. And the motivation to go there, or how did I become interested in it? Because my leadership role in this company grew and grew and grew, and I realized that there are, I don't know, endless numbers of leadership challenges, and I really wanted to explore if coaching is a methodology which could help me leading in a way which I would appreciate maybe more than every other way I was led in these times. So I took that education, and it really was. It turned out to be the right thing to do, supporting me in my leadership role in these years. And I just, I don't know, just remember that many of my team members whom I always, of course, first asked, would you be okay with integrating some coaching methods into our relationship? When you need something, I need something, whatever it could be. And there was lots of feedback that people enjoyed that very much, because it was active listening, it was accelerating their growth. It was all of what everybody is looking for when we go for coaching. And it was at an ACC level, so still very much action driven. But that was very appropriate as well, being in a corporation, because we needed to, fulfill our actions.
Fantastic.
Did this answer the question?
Yes, yes. Just to add, when you were talking, I was thinking about myself, and it's kind of similar in some ways. I started my coaching journey, and having it just more than an interest was, well, I started my journey with working with a coach.
Mm.
And when I was working with a coach, and I've got just like, I was introduced to coaching through that.
Yeah.
And through that I started to think that in my it felt like in my career I can use this. I'm missing some skills, the skills that my coach is using to communicate with me and asking questions from me. It seems like that
Hmm.
can help me a lot in my profession. And that's
Hmm.
how I started to get more interested to know that, okay, maybe I should learn the skills. It's not just for me to work with a coach and they help me in my challenges and in my growth, but also I can help my team to actually grow with the help of those skills. So it's similar.
Hmm.
It's like it's the interest that is grown in the company that
Right,
you're mentioning as well. So
right,
yes, thank you very
right,
much,
right.
Ingrid.
Yeah, sure. And just to add, I had that experience as well because I was coached once. I was in a, difficult situation with my leader and asked for coaching, got it. And at the very last session, actually, the coach left coaching and gave an advice or gave a statement, let me say it like that. And he just said, well, Ingrid, you have to make a decision. Either you play the game as it's played, and it was all about political correctness at that moment where I was not very good at. And I was growing more and more into the role where I needed political correctness in that business. And he said, either you play the game as it's played, or you leave. And then I left, and I said, well, there must be something in between. I can start, of course, playing the game, but I don't want to be the game player. I can do differently. If others play the game and I have to play with them, might be, but I can play it differently. And this was potentially a good motivation to get these skills.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Maria, what about you? What made you consider it more than just an interest?
Uh, she has
Oh, something happened to her
seems to have
sister.
connection problems.
Are you back
Okay.
with us, Maria?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Yeah,
You
sorry.
disappeared from the screen for a second.
Yeah, it restarted. I don't know why.
So did you hear the question? Are you okay to answer the same question?
I can, definitely. So I too had have been having coaches for a number of years as a leader. It's been crucial for me um, in order to kind of not be as lonely as you can be as a leader. Have someone to really bounce things with that is objective and you can kind of mirror yourself in. That's been important, but I think that the most important reason for me is that since I've been building communities in a variety of ways, the most important things when building a community for people to feel included is that they feel that they are listened to.
Mm.
So, of course, that has been a very important skill for me to build, and the conversation is really the foundation of every community.
Mm.
So I also wanted to become better at it. I think we will touch upon it later, but for me, I had a Dunning-Kruger feeling about uh, listening. I thought I was really, really good at it until I
Mm.
started to kind of learn more about it. And then I realized I wasn't a good listener at all. I didn't know I was listening to or for. So that was the real reason why coaching became something that I was attracted to or drawn to.
I totally get that. I completely, when you said that, it brought back so many memories, Maria. Inez, what about you?
So for me, I did not have a coach during my career, and I think in the legal sector, it's rare to have a coach assigned to solicitors. So, and it's interesting how the legal sector works, where you are promoted because of time served, and then you're given a group of people to supervise, to train, to provide that pastoral care, and sometimes you don't even know what you're doing. So I wouldn't say that I was coaching, I was really mentoring. I was mentoring junior solicitors and aspiring lawyers based on my journey and my experience and the difficulties that I encountered. And I was trying to support and guide them. And for mentoring, it's more about telling them what to do and sharing your mistakes and giving tips. So I've been doing that for probably about 15 to 18 years. I've been mentoring. I then got involved with businesses through the Institute of Directors and realized that business leaders were asking me questions based on my lived experience and wanted me to now coach them. I had no idea what I was doing by way of coaching, but would try and do my best. And then I made the decision. I felt a bit of a fraudster that people were calling me a coach. And I was also noticing on LinkedIn, you get so many people that say they are coaches, but they have absolutely no qualification. And so I decided that I needed to change something and acquire the necessary qualifications that I need. And I know that later on we're going to talk about valuable lessons that we have learned, but ICE coaching and the whole process has made me realize the importance of ensuring that you research the right school to get your education from, and how you really truly coach so that your client is benefiting from your coaching, but you're also benefiting from it.
Thank you so much, Inez. And you've kind of answered my second question, that what made you make the final decision and do it? It's kind of, you touched on that one. So I would like to hear from Ingrid as well. Ingrid, what was the point that you said, okay, this is it, I really have to do this, take it seriously and do it professionally?
Yeah, I would say when I left corporate and from this career, right? After a while of grieving, I have to say, because it was a long time in my professional life, and you lose something when you stop doing that. But I knew that I just didn't want to do nothing, so I wanted to do something. And then I thought, where's my passion? Where do I want to strive in the next couple of years with? And then there were so many scenes coming up to my mind where coaching was a piece during this corporate life. But I said, well, that was just one environment. That was, yes, I earned some experience, sure, gained some experience, but it was all in the safe environment, which I knew so well, you know. So I said, well, I need to expand on that when I want to go into using it with different people, supporting different people, supporting different cultures, supporting whatever. I need to get a higher qualification and a better qualification. And that's why I decided to go for the PCC and look for a training institution which could help me getting it. And not only the credential, but as well the skills, I mean, behind it. That's more important than the credential themselves. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And I think maybe a lot of guests that we have here, they are going through the same thing. Like, their story is similar to Ingrid. they are transitioning. They just don't want to. So some of us might be like Ines, that we learn it, but we are still using it in our profession as well. But some of us are completely transitioning. So this is I think that's the beauty of the panel, is that you can see which one you can connect with and maybe ask questions from as well, that it will relate to you more than the others. Thank you very much, Ingrid. So Maria, can I ask you, if you think about how coaching has influenced you within your current profession, because I know that was one of the biggest motivations for you. So how would you say it impacted your current profession?
Well, to start with, one of my strengths is learner. So the decision to kind of take the course itself came from I felt stuck, and I felt like I was on a plateau in my companies, and I needed to have development in order to kind of get through the day and everything else that I needed to do, and get energized by that. And I think that also is one of the biggest contributions into my life today, that coaching brings me. The energy that I get from meeting people, hearing stories, and hearing people figuring out things that is really helping them get through challenges in their lives. But it also made me, of course, a better listener, as I mentioned already, because I know now what to listen for, even if I need more practice, and will be practicing for the rest of my life. But it also made me a better spouse, a better mother, and yeah, it made me more intentional or more deliberate in basically everything that I do. I find that coaching is helping me bring out the strength that I need in order to do what I want to do, and not what the world expects of me, basically, I think.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Maria. Inez.
Yeah, I just wanted to come and respond to what Ingrid and Maria said, because both of them said that they decided to do the course, and that is the first step that you need to take on your journey. So for me, when I decided that I was going to do a course, I didn't know which course to do. And before our guest joined us, we were talking about the different duration of courses. Some can be 2 weeks, some can be 3 months. And when I've told them about ICE, that it's 12 months, longer than 12 months, weekly, they've been really, really surprised. But before I started my coaching journey, it took me, I think it was about a week to research different coaching providers and to see what they offered, the support that they gave. And I kept coming back to ICE. And I thought, well, I like the fact that they are affiliated with International Coaching Federation, but also that they would focus on strength, and the support that it would give. And so I spoke to, I think it was 7 coaching providers, and then had a conversation with Taymor, and his approach was completely different to anyone else that I spoke to. And I realized, yeah, it's ICE that I need to do it with, and I'm actually going to feel quite at home, as though I'm part of a community, but also to have the support of the coaches. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Inez. And I think I would like to add on to that is one of the reasons that maybe a common theme that you will see in our panelists is that they're all professionals, and there is different reasons that we do the course in a longer period, because it's easy to do something in a very short version and crash course. But one is that most of our students and in our cohorts, they are professionals, that they are very busy, and they are here to either transition or really take in this knowledge. They are not just here to get a certificate. They are not here to get a credential. They are really here to take the benefit of coaching. And I think what we are hearing from all of us is that what is it that you want to get out of coaching? Why do you want to become a coach? Because coaching is something that it's supposed to go in your DNA. It's supposed to make some changes within you, first of all, before you make any changes for anybody around you or in the world. And that needs time. That needs digesting it and really feeling it for yourself and seeing the impact for yourself. Inez, what would you say? Because you've made a decision, you came and you were seeing something that you're doing more mentoring. How did it affect the process? How did it influence you professionally? Because that's what you were planning to do.
So I think first when I started the course was realizing that I have strengths and talents, and I've never ever thought about that. And I thought about my career, how I was always told that I had strengths and weaknesses and that I needed to improve on the weaknesses. But after doing the coaching course with ICE and realizing that my top 5, it made sense that I am who I am, that our learner is a strength and developer, because I love developing and working with people. It also made me realize that mentoring and consultancy is very different to coaching. And Ingrid and Maria mentioned listening, empathizing with your clients, being energized and getting them to take the action rather than you telling them what to do. So it's completely transformed the way that I coach individuals now, and it's a much better experience for them and for me, that I can use my strengths but also help them to identify their strengths by getting them to do the Gallup strength test. So yeah, it's completely transformed my whole career and my own practice as a lawyer and a businesswoman.
Thank you so much. You're hearing a lot about Gallup and the test and Strength Finder. If you go to our website, you will see more about our approach. Everybody who join ICE, we will ask them to do the Gallup test because we would like to focus more on your strength, and you will learn how to focus on your client's strength. And that you will hear that all the time in our sessions, because we believe that more you work on your strength and make it flourish, you will have better effect rather than wanting to work on your weakness. We are not saying that you shouldn't work on your weakness. That's not the concept. But it's you have more chance of success focusing on what you're good at rather than what you're not good at, and then understanding that how you can kind of balance, team up with somebody else, or the other ways that you can do to close the gaps where it's not necessarily your strength, and not wasting your energy on those ones. So because you're hearing from everybody, we just don't want you to, you might have heard about it or you might have not. So I just wanted to clarify this one. Ingrid, can you tell me what was some of the biggest uncertainties or challenges you faced during the transitioning towards coaching?
Yeah, I would like to take a little bit on what Inez shared. Having been a mentor and a leader and a consultant and whatever else in the business before, in my profession before, the biggest uncertainty was, can I move completely towards coaching? And how would that work? And I have to say, well, trying very hard during the education, and always be reminded by the cohort, by the trainers, by the faculty, by everyone, that was easy through the education. It was not, and it is still not easy in the business I'm doing, because many people don't want to take the time needed to develop by themselves, especially when you are in career coaching. There are so many people who approach and want just to know, how does that work? What do I have to do? And that's always a challenge. And there are a couple of people here in the chat who talk about career coaching. Be aware that there might be a need, if you want to serve your customers, your clients, that you take that as well seriously. I mean, you listen to what your clients want to have, and you try as much as you can to have them developing towards it. But when it comes to a resume review, that's needed urgently in many cases, because they want to use their new resumes to apply for a certain position. So I myself, I think I made that transition, but I still feel challenged by clients to, they look for a career coach, but actually what they want to have is someone who tells them what to do. Mm-hmm. So that's still the challenge I'm in every day.
I know. I think that's a common theme, especially if you're in a particular niche. And especially if you were a mentor or a consultant before transitioning to coaching, when people come to you, I think it's by default they expect that, and it's quite challenging. Also, the internal conversation of us as a coach, how can we just resist it and just stick to coaching? So is the resistance from our side, and also what the clients challenge us. So yeah. I totally get what you mean, Ingrid. I feel it. I think it's everywhere. It's not just career coaching.
You're for sure right. You're for sure right. And I mean, there's always then an opportunity when someone, you work with someone and this person met his goals, that with these goals you can try to get into a longer relationship with this person, and then use that longer relationship to really work on the person's, let this client work on his goals and achieve them through coaching, because then they as well realize that, yes, I had an immediate goal, but I can grow further. Mm-hmm. So that's always what I try. I'm not always successful in proposing this, but sometimes yes.
Maria, Inez, any of you would like to tell us about your biggest uncertainty or challenge transitioning to coaching?
For me, it has been understanding the difference between being a consultant and coaching. So I've been doing consultancy now for about 3.5 years. And when people come to me for my services, they want me to tell them what to do. And so I'm so used to doing that. And with coaching, I'm still having to do that, to learn to allow my client to grow and to ask the client the questions, to listen to the things they're not saying, and to be able to guide them through and helping them to realize that they need to take responsibility for their actions, not me pushing them all the time. So that's the difficulty. And sometimes I will be coaching and I forget, and my consultancy hat comes on, and then I have to apologize. So it's making sure that you don't do that. And it's not that being a consultant is bad, but being a coach is so different, because you're helping people to grow by using their strengths. So that for me has been the biggest challenge.
Maria, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I totally second that. That has been the most difficult thing for me as well, and especially since I also have clients where I am both consultant in certain situations and a coach in other situations. And in one way, I am paid to have an opinion, and on the other hand, I am paid to be objective, which is super tricky. Not only for me, but also for the client to understand that the difference between those. So being super clear is very important.
Thank you. I think so the theme here is skills, and also the need that we get from the clients, that is what is challenging a lot of coaches as they are transitioning, especially because of our background. We are professionals and we are transitioning, so there is an expectation from us. I would like to add one more factor to this that I hear from a lot of coaches, and I think we all experience it in the transition phase, is finding clients, because some of us, we want to be just coaches. So finding clients that they want to work with us just as a coach, and not as what they know about us before. That will become a challenge, and because we are more comfortable, years and years we work in our profession, and then we are transitioning, it's just we getting clients in the other field more and more, and we are pulled, and then we want to push and go somewhere else. So that is a challenge, and that's another reason that during the course, what we encourage everybody to start their own business. So look at coaching as a business as well. I'm not talking about the some of us that we are coming here and we just want to learn the skills and bring it into our profession. That's it. We don't want to be a coach only. But if you want to have coaching as a business, as a career, as a completely different transitioning, you need the support to learn how to build your business as well. How to start to talk to everybody in a way that they see you as a coach. They want to work with you as your client, as a coach, and not as a consultant or whatever profession that you have been before. Inez.
Yes, and just you mentioned skills, and you said that if we see anything in the chat, we can bring it to light. And I believe it's Alice who has said, being good at what you do does not equate to being a good leader or mentor or coach. To become one, I believe one needs the skills and training required, and I want and need those skills. And Alice, I can say that if you decide to do the course with ICE, you will acquire those skills. During the whole 12 months, they focus on the skills and the training that you need, and also helping you to understand the difference between therapists, consultants, psychologists, and the various things, to coaching, so that you enter into an agreement with your client on what they want, and you provide the coaching so that you're able to move them to achieve the target that they want. It definitely is all about the skills.
Thank you very much. And I second that, and I will say, when we talk about strength, we are not saying that everything it's strength building is basically that. You take your skills and you invest on it. And to invest on it is to learn the skills. So it's not just the talent that is innate and you learn and it is within you. It's how you develop it. And that's what you're learning, and what Inez mentioned. Thank you very much, Inez. I would like to ask the next question. And before I do that, I would like to put a poll in the chat. If any of you need more details about the course you're thinking, you want to think about this journey for yourself, you can talk to MCC certified coach and explore the next steps, because all the things that you hear from us, it's still not so personal. So you might have certain challenges, you want to know more. So if you like to speak with the MCC certified coach and want to know more about the next step, please fill up the form, leave your number or email address that we can actually get back to you, and then you can ask more detailed questions from them as well. But the rest of the questions we will try to answer here as much as possible. I will just leave it here because I'm seeing that we don't have so much time, and some of you might want to leave. So I'll just leave the chat. Can you see the poll? Is it showing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I can't see anybody filling it in. So please let us know. If you're not interested, not a problem. If you're interested, if you're interested to do it later on, just let us know, and then we can get back to you. I'll leave that one here. It's on the timer. So I'll go ahead with the next questions and I will leave you to the question. So, Ingrid, looking back, what has been the most valuable or meaningful part of your journey so far? So what's the most valuable or meaningful part?
Okay. The journey with ICE or beyond even?
Beyond your
Yeah,
coaching
beyond.
journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but let me start with ICE. And I want to mention it because it's continuing now. The most meaningful was to be in a kind of a close. There were some comings and goings, but the majority of the group was stable over these 12 or a little bit more than 12 months. So the Tamar always calls it the cohort. So the cohort itself built it. Not only supported, we not only supported ourselves in the learning journey and in experimenting, we went through some, how do I do this test thing at the very end. But now what we did after, most of us have made it and acquired the skills, got the credentials. We have now built it what we call a BBC. Sorry for the acronym for all people here from the UK. It's a business builder collective. So we have founded an alumni group, and we support ourselves in building our businesses. Which is, back to you, Nazanin, one of the biggest things when you want to use coaching more in a professional way than only in private. Like Maria said, you change during that journey. You become a better person. That's really true. I want to chime into that. But when you wanted to use it as a business, the ideas coming through the education from ICE are very valuable. However, there is much more intensity you have to bring into it, and experience sharing is what works, what doesn't work, and how do you do this, and how is it evolving? How does someone uses AI for marketing or even sales purposes, or even within the coaching? So there are certain things which are as well happening and developing after the ICE experience, and I'm happy that for the moment it works. Let's see. It's a community, Maria, and really very interested to see how long it will exist. I hope forever, but you never know. We invest quite a bit into it.
Fantastic. I think one of the biggest, one of the most beautiful parts of these kind of journeys is the people that you meet and the connections that you create,
Right.
and the relationship and the networks that it builds. It's definitely one of the most valuable parts that it will stay with us forever. And Maria, what about you? What would you say that was the most valuable or meaningful part of your journey in coaching?
Well, I second what Ingrid said about the different modules that you that is offered to you during the training. That is super valuable, and also the group that you meet, and that you quite quickly also get pushed into reality, like you're supposed to go out and coach as soon as possible, which is super valuable because you get the training right from the start. You really have to get out there and like forget about perfect and just do it, which is helpful because it helps you kind of evolve more quickly, and also getting to practice what you learn in theory. So that has been very important for me. But also, of course, since I do not have a plan as for now to become a full-time coach, this is something I want to do part-time, and then I have other things that I want to do. Finding my way of implementing coaching as one of the tools that I use has been super important as well. And been given that space to do that within the sessions as well is like finding your own way is definitely a key in the modules as well.
Thank you very much. Inez, I want to go to you and ask you, was there a particular moment that when you look back, that's the moment that the coaching start to feel real?
The coaching started to feel real when you're thrown in at the deep end during your training, where you are the client or you are the coach. So you feel it's a daunting experience to begin with, because you think that everybody's listening to you, and I'm not as good as Naz, or I'm not as good as coaches that have been career coaches. But when you receive the feedback and you've asked searching and probing questions, or you've been listening actively, and the coach says very good questions, very good points, you realize it's now beginning to make sense. Doing the peer-to-peer coaching, the reciprocal coaching with members of your cohort help you to improve, because they're not judging you and they're training, and you get that community support, which is really, really wonderful. One of the things that I wanted to say that I found really, really valuable, because you're able to develop your skills, but you also get the mentoring and support from certified coaches. And then at the end of the session, for maybe about 6 weeks, you have the roadmap to revenue, where it's focusing now on which area, what's going to be your niche of coaching, which clients do you want to target, what is your unique selling point, and what's your branding. And Ingrid mentioned AI, and all of that you definitely want to have at the end of your coaching, because you've paid the money, you've invested the time, you want to attract clients, and it's really, really good that you get that support as well as part of this course.
Yes, and we need that as coaches. We definitely do, because it's, especially if you want to work professionally, and it's like I always say, you go, you learn the skills, and then you're very, very professional, you know what you're doing, but like now have to go out and you have to start selling it. And that's is all of a sudden it's like you're falling into the deep end thinking, now what should I do? I know how to coach, but who am I going to coach? This is the thing, and that's why you go through this journey step by step. Before I ask the last question, I would like to open the line and ask, is there any questions that you, our guests here, would like to ask our panelists? Do you have any questions that you would like to ask? This is a great time if you want to open your line and you want to ask a question. You can raise your hand, or you can just write in the chat if you have any question. We would love to hear it. I'll give some time for you to write it if you want to write it. I would like to ask again, Maria, what about you? Was there a moment that coaching felt real for you as a professional path?
Yes, absolutely. So I think that both as a merely physical event as well as another emotional one. But the first one, of course, when I felt that I had clients that actually got value out of our conversation. That was the first time I started to feel like real. And then, of course, when people felt that it was worth paying for my time, that was another one. But emotionally, it was more when I could really kind of release myself from a conversation and become one with the flow and kind of the dance or the conversation that naturally flows where you kind of leave yourself completely out of the room and have extremely focus on the one that you have in front of you. That was the emotional part when I felt, well, okay, this is really starting to get somewhere in me and for me as a coach.
I think my story is very similar to you, and I think a lot of us, there is this session that we went with a particular client, and then everything started to feel real, and we notice how we can affect, and we compare to ourselves from before. We were listening, we were doing that before as well, but how effective we are now, and some of us, the first client that comes to us, and the first person who comes and asks us, I've heard you're doing coaching. I can see the change in the way that you're dealing with me, the way that you're asking me questions, and that is another part that a lot of us will start to feel more. This is working. I can see something else is working within me. I saw a question from Moses that I would like you guys to answer, because I can have a very different answer to this question. How much time do you think it's expected per week from you? How much did you take from you guys? My answer might be very different. I'm objective.
It changed. Oh, sorry, Inez, you go ahead.
No, you continue. I'll come in after you.
It changed. So at first it starts with the online lessons, and that is about, with preparation and some after preparation, I would say 2 hours per week. But after a while, you start peer coaching, as Inez already said, reciprocal coaching, because you practice. And then it depends totally on your schedule. It can be that it ends up with 3 additional hours per week for peer coaching, reciprocal coaching, some preparation work, whatever, or maybe even 5. So I would say it moves from, at the beginning, 3 hours, 2-3 hours per week, and it can go up to 8 per week.
What I would say, and before I committed to the course, I asked Tamor so many questions. How long are the weekly sessions? What is expected of me? Because I like to plan ahead, and we are very busy people. And although Tamor prepares you, you still have to take the responsibility. And as a client, when you're coaching, it's all about taking responsibility to move. So you then need to set aside time for your peer-to-peer coaching, but it's helping you develop as a coach. So you've got to set aside that time. One thing I would say, and learn from my mistakes, please, you have the weekly sessions that you do, and I would always prepare. I would do my reading so that I could really take part in the weekly sessions, completing your workbook. So I made the mistake of not always updating my workbook. So when you're now preparing to receive your certification, I had to go back over all of the reading again, and all they wanted was 1 or 2 sentences. And had I done that weekly, so that taught me a lesson that do your prep, do the sessions, and do the after bit of completing the log, so it doesn't take as long. But believe you me, you do need to commit time, but it is worth it. It's part of your journey to make you a good coach.
Absolutely. And Inez, I did the same mistake, by the way, just to let you know, at my time. And I always say, everybody, don't make that mistake. It's just a journey of each one of us. We just have to experience some things by ourselves to feel it. But one thing with ICE is that, as Inez said, we talked to you in the beginning because you might, we want to know how much time you have and how much time you can realistically commit. Because once we hear that, then we either can customize it to what you can commit, or we can tell you this, if you want to do it this way, it might take longer or it can be shorter. And also, we've seen in the journey that you might come in, you say, I can commit this, and it happened quite a lot. And then when you start the process, because almost all our students are professionals, something happens, more commitments of work happens, and then we will have to look at the schedule, re-look at the plan, and we might have to help you to schedule it in a different way that you can manage with your time. So this is a very customized program because of the nature of our students. So this is not a simple answer. Ingrid said it beautifully. It can be 2 hours, can be 8 hours. It's true. It's about how much time and time you can put. How much of the priority right now this is for you compared to everything else that you have in your life. So it's not a very, very simple question to answer. That's why I said some of them is best if you speak with Teemu directly, and then we will help you personally rather than just doing it in a very general question. Is there any other question that you would like to ask?
There is one in the poll. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Come on, go on, Inez.
Ingrid.
Oh,
You
okay.
go ahead, Ingrid.
So someone asked, is there included in the course to learn to help women to navigate this elephant of career? I would say it's totally up to you. When you are in the course, you can make it a topic because you can really be the coachee in a session and telling the story. You are a woman and you want to make a career, and and you're challenged by this and that. Please coach me on this. Or you can practice any coaching because you bring up the topic, and then in the mentoring sessions, there is always the place for learning. Or you look for a peer coaching where you even can spend 10 hours with someone else from the cohort to learn and practice that specific niche or specific intention you might have. So I would say yes, it is included in the course, but only when you bring it up. And that's true for every other story. We had thousands of different stories, which was a learning by itself.
And Ingrid's just answered the question. And what's good about the course is it's a practical course where, as Ingrid has said, you have the opportunity to be the client and you can raise this as a concern or any other concern, and someone else will coach you, and you will say, what you would like, what success would look like for you at the end of the session to help you navigate these difficult topics. So it's really, really practical, and you learn so much both as a coach and also as a client.
Absolutely. I totally agree with what both Ingrid and Inez said. And I would like to ask all of you, whoever would like to answer, what advice would you give? Because we have a lot of people that they are listening, they are in transition, they are thinking about having coaching as a profession. What advice would you give them from your own experience?
I would say that if you're thinking about coaching, you are ready. You're ready to start that journey. However, it is really, really important that you make sure that you do your research and you find out which course is going to suit you and offer everything that you need. It took me weeks before I made my decision, but I settled on ICE and I had researched so many. I would say that coaching is an amazing career to enter into because it's so rewarding. You're able to help people and you're able to move them from a position where they feel stuck to success. So yeah, if you're thinking about it, you're ready, and take that step. Talk to Naz, talk to Taymor. They're here to help.
Thank you, Inez. Maria.
Well, I second very much about what Inez just shared, but I think that you will never be quite ready. The process itself will get you ready to be a coach. So trust the process, and also I was also finding out about other coaching educations, and I was quite eager to get it done quite quickly at first, but then I realized that, well, you can't leapfrog this process. It will take its time, and it's a good thing that you have this amount of time to actually grow into a coach, because that's what you do.
Thank you, Maria. I felt like it's the same thing, but from a different approach, the way that Maria and Inez put it. If you think you're ready, you're ready, but you're never quite ready. It's amazing. It's like don't. It's not a simple answer to question. To answer. It's just when you feel it, and the way I will say it is that you will win. Learning coaching skills, you will win one way or another. And the minimum that you will get is for your personal growth and what it will give you and the network and the environment that you will put yourself into. And then the other aspects of it is everything else that you've heard from the panelists. So it's a funny it's just for me it was like that. And I'm in love with coaching from the first day, so it's difficult to say it any other way. Inez.
I actually didn't put my hand up. I think that's AI, but just
it's AI, yeah.
just to clarify, when I say if you're thinking about it, you're ready, I mean you're ready to start your journey. I don't mean that you're a coach. So Maria's absolutely right that it's the start of a process.
Absolutely. Ingrid, thank you very much, Inez, to clarify that. Ingrid, what?
Yeah, just and all true what the three of you said, very much. Just adding one perspective to it. If your ambition is to build up a business with your coaching, be aware that it's building up a business, and it doesn't really matter if you build up a business for coaching or for handyman stuff or whatever you think. It's building up a business, and you need to learn how you do marketing and how you do sales. And I just want to give a bit of a warning or advice. There are hundreds till thousands of businesses who call themselves I coach coaches to get a business. Leave your fingers away from them. They don't know what coaching is, and they don't know how to build up a business. You are getting the client, and you can really pay a lot of money to them, and you just might learn how to create a nice profile picture on LinkedIn. And that's what they teach. So be very, very careful in engaging with these business builders. There are very professionals out there. They cost their money. If you want to get into touch with them, do the same like Inez did. I mean, really explore and figure out who is a serious provider and who just wants to sell. I don't know what they're selling. It's yeah. Sorry to say it like that, but we want to do coaching, and we are not usually native business builders. And so the trap we could fall in could be huge. So take care of that as well, in addition to becoming a coach, if you want to do business with it.
I absolutely agree with Ingrid, and I would say it from a different perspective as well, is that one is what Ingrid is saying, and second is that when you're starting your journey, don't start the journey thinking that I only need to learn the skills. And once I'm a coach, that's it. You really need to look at this as a journey, as an investment of you learning to build a business as well. This is very important. Think about it in this way, because if you don't, by the time you finish your journey, you will be one of many coaches that then they will leave coaching. They will love it. It will always work for them. It will always stay in their heart, and they will always use it for their personal or their professional side, but they will not be a professional coach in the sense that they get client and this is a sustainable thing for them. So just to make it sustainable, make sure that you think about both sides from the beginning.
Right.
And whoever you're going with, ask them what are their support and how they are supporting you to build a sustainable coaching business, as well as learning their the competencies. Because the competencies, I'm hoping that's what's minimum everybody will do for you. So this is another way that I will say what Ingrid said. And when we don't think about it from the beginning, once the course is finished, we will fall into those hands that Ingrid just mentioned, because we're just starting very fresh and we haven't looked at everything from the beginning. Thank you very much. We are almost on time, just 10 minutes more than 60 minutes. I think we did well. I would, if any of you have any other question that you would like to ask from us, you can email us. And I just want to add one more thing, that if you haven't experienced coaching before, so this is just something for who is not a coach. So if you're a coach and if you have experience, it's not for you. If you are not a coach and you would like to experience working with a coach, we have, during the ICW, we have a gift basically for people who haven't who haven't experienced coaching before, and that's a pro bono coaching. And our graduates, our alumni are here to help you to experience coaching pro bono. So if you're interested, please email us to the email address that I will put here right now, and let us know that you are interested in a pro bono coaching. And then we will let you know who we can connect you with, and we will ask you some questions as well. Thank you very much, Albert. Would you please be kind and send me an email and say that you're interested, and we will connect you to the right person. Thank you very much. And thank you, our panelists. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you, our guests, for being here with us tonight. And have an amazing time wherever you are. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye, everyone.
bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.